A tavola! Hello, welcome to our Tavola. I'm Lucia Kane. Romance is definitely in the air. So I thought, why don't we do a nice romantic dinner? So I thought we'd start out with very simple but elegant tomato, mozzarella, and basil salad, but we're gonna make it a little fancy this time. And then we're gonna do a nice angel hair pasta with shrimp. And then I thought we'd finish it off with a very decadent chocolate flourless cake, which just melts in your mouth. So why don't we get started on the cake, because that's going to take the longest. We have to bake that. What we have to do is separate the eggs. We have 5 eggs that we're going to separate. So we're going to do the whites in one bowl and the yolk in another. You don't want to get any of the yolk in this bowl, where the whites are. Because what we're going to do is we're going to beat these whites to make them nice and fluffy. You'll see why in just a moment. Because there's no flour in this cake, that's what's going to give it a little air and a little height. This cake is really, it's like 5 ingredients, but it is so good. It's usually a big hit in my family, or even when I take it to work. A couple more to go. Just like that. That one broke. Thank God it broke in the right bowl. Okay, so now that we've separated the eggs, what we're going to do is we're going to start to beat the egg whites. And like I said, we want to start to beat them first, and you want soft peaks, and then we're going to add 3 tablespoons of sugar, and then we're going to keep beating them, and then you want nice firm but not dry peaks. So it's going to take a couple minutes. Okay, oh, my arm was getting tired on that one. All right, we are done with this. Just put these over to the sink. Okay, and as you can see, the peaks are nice and firm, but they're not dry. So now what we're going to do is we're going to mix the rest of the sugar. And just with a whisk, you just want to, sorry, a little messy today. Okay, now that that's going on, what we need to do is we need to melt our chocolate. So we have 8 ounces here of bittersweet chocolate and 1 stick of butter. Yes, it is figure friendly. Ha ha ha. Let me tell you, it's so decadent and it's so rich. I mean, just a little bit and oh, this cake is just amazing. Okay, this usually happens pretty quickly. Now you want to do it very, very low heat, because you don't want to, obviously you don't want your butter to brown, and the chocolate will burn. So I'm just going to cut this up in like little cubes. Oh, sorry, my romantic couple. Did you see Spatman? He's got a girlfriend now. You have to help me name her. She's actually like a little strainer. So believe me, I've come up with some real doozy names, but nothing I really like so far. So you'll have to help me name her. They can just stay together. There you go. See, they're having problems already. Let's continue with the chocolate. Let's get it in the pan. Then what we're going to do is once this all melts, then we're going to incorporate this in with the egg yolks. But let me show you, I'll show you how to do that because you don't want to cook those eggs. We call it tempering. I'll show you what I mean by that. Ready for that step. This is also one of those cakes that I cannot eat too late at night because it does keep me awake. All this cocoa in here, I'm not used to the caffeine. Okay, let that melt. That should just take a couple minutes. Give it a little stir. Tell you what, I have to take a really quick break. I'll meet you back here in just a few minutes. Today's show is sponsored in part by Lucia's Kitchen. I make my own tomato sauce, mild and a little spicy, which can be found at the Italian store in Arlington. Welcome back. Our chocolate and butter is really nice and smooth. I don't know, can you see that? Very nice and smooth. Now, what we want to do is it's called tempering. So you want to just add a very, very little at a time to your egg yolk mixture because if you put it all in at the same time, you're going to cook your eggs and you're going to have scrambled eggs and that's not going to be good for this cake. So we're just going to put very, very little at first. You just want to bring the temperature of these eggs up gradually. You're just going to whisk it in. Okay, we can add just a little bit more. And just a little bit more. Pretty soon I'll be able to dump the whole thing in, don't worry. You don't have to do that for the whole batch. Like I said, you just don't want it to be too hot going in there. I've made this cake several different ways. I've tried several different, variations, different little things I've added, and this is still my favorite recipe. It's the most simple, but I think it tastes the best. And then what we're even going to do is do a little chocolate ganache sauce at the very end. You can drizzle on top of this. Oh my God. Forget about it. It is so good. I mean, come on, what's not to love? Chocolate, butter, eggs. If you could only smell this. It smells really good. I think we're safe. I hope we're safe. We're going in. We're going all in. Get every drop, or as much as you can anyway. Too good to waste. Okay, then what we're going to do is we're going to actually fold these two together. The egg whites with this. We're going to fold it in together. Very carefully. You don't want to break those peaks. I mean, they're going to break a little bit, but okay, that looks good. Wow. Messy, but good. So we are going to fold these two together. And you're going to mix it. We're going to mix it as best as we can. When I say fold, this is what we mean. Just with your spatula, you're just going to gently incorporate these two together. I make this cake a lot for birthdays, bring it to work. It's gone. It's gone in minutes. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now, I'll show you. Now, normally, if you don't have this type of pan that I have, it's okay. I recommend a springform pan, kind of like the ones you use for cheesecake that comes in two pieces where you could take it apart. Looks pretty good. I found this wonderful little heart-shaped pan, actually that I got. A friend of mine got that for me. And it actually is two pieces. What I've done is I've put some parchment paper at the bottom, sprayed the pan, and put the parchment paper on top. And then we're just going to pour the mixture in. Just like that. Wait till you try this cake. Now I have a preheated oven. I know this sounds weird, but I have tried different temps and different times. This seems to work the best. I have it on 355 degrees, and we're going to bake it for about 35 minutes. Now what I'd like to do is put a piece of foil underneath this, so just in case it seeps out because it is two pieces. Just a little word of caution, I would recommend that. We'll take a quick break, get this in the oven, do a little cleanup, and I'll meet you right back here. Today's show is sponsored in part by Lucia's Kitchen. I make my own tomato sauce, mild and a little spicy, which can be found at the Italian store in Arlington. Welcome back. So our cake is in the oven. Smells divine. We're going to get started on our tomato, basil, and mozzarella salad. Now, what I have here is two, of course two because it's a romantic dinner, but I think I'm only going to, let's start with the one. And what we're going to do is we're going to take out what's inside of the tomato, because the tomato is actually going to be the cup or the holder for this salad. I told you I was going to make it a little fancier. So what we're going to do is you need a good paring knife. Okay, and this is a paring knife. So we're going to go in at the top, and you want your knife at an angle. And you're just going to go all the way around like this. Don't let it intimidate you. It's really not that bad. And see, it's kind of like a little lid. You just kind of take that off. You don't need that. Okay? And then what I do is I go in very gently, and I'm going to cut around, kind of like the meat of the tomato here. And actually, let me grab a little spoon. And this is a great little spoon because it has little jagged edges there for coring. It's great for tomatoes, for melons. And what I have here is this is actually diced tomatoes that we're going to use for the shrimp. And you know what? Why waste these tomatoes? Let's just put it right in here. So I'm going to put that right in there. I don't know if you could see that. Okay, let's do it that way. Let me give this a little more of a cut here because this tomato is pretty firm, so the flesh or the meat of the tomato doesn't want to come out that easily. But just be really, really gentle in getting it out, because you don't want to poke a hole through here because this is your cup. This is what's going to hold your salad. I got this, this idea actually from a dear friend, Chef Wilhelm from school, and he had us over at his house for dinner one night, and he did this, and I just thought it was the neatest thing and very creative, and so I thought I have to share it with you guys. So that's what. So Chef, if you're watching, thanks. See, I didn't just learn baking from you. I learned a lot. Okay, so we're going to continue to get this out. You don't have to get all of it out, but just enough, because obviously you want room for your salad. You want to try to get the liquid out as well. So just be really careful that you don't poke a hole through it. I've done that before, and that's not good, because then you can't really use that tomato. And of course, depending on the size of the tomato, you know, if it's a bigger tomato, then definitely you don't have to hollow it all out. If it's a smaller tomato, you want to hollow more out so you have more room. Okay, that's pretty good. I don't know if you can see that. That's pretty good. Okay. Now, take that another step further. I like to make the edges a little fancier. So we're going to give it kind of like a jagged edge. Just like that. We're just going to make little jags, just like that. Just kind of make it a little fancy. Your little cup, your little edible cup. That's good. Then you just take out what you've carved. There you go. Isn't that cute? Now, let's talk about what we're going to fill it with. I like to buy these little, they're called ciliegini or bocconcini, and they're little mozzarella, they're like little baby mozzarella balls. And that's what they look like, just like that. Obviously, if tomatoes are in season and you have homegrown tomatoes from your backyard, definitely chop those up and put these in here. But if it's not the right season, I prefer to use the grape tomatoes because they have a lot more flavor. So let's get a spoon here. Okay. And I think what I'm going to do is, I'm going to cut these in half and mix them in with the tomato. I like to kind of mix it all up here first before I fill my cups. Just like that. Wow, this is so fresh. You can tell they're fresh. They're very soft. Okay. Let's get our basil. Of course, that's a key component there. I don't need that. Chop up a little bit of basil. This is such a simple, but I think just a great salad. It's fresh. It's easy. Make it a little elegant this way. All these fresh flavors. Okay. Right in the bowl. Now that's a lot, obviously, but it's okay. You can save it in the fridge, have it with crackers the next night. We're going to add some olive oil to this and a little salt. Okay. And we're going to mix it up. It's that simple, guys, really. But it's so pretty. I love the colors, the red, white, and green. Okay, so now, make sure you get all the water out of that. You're just going to fill your tomato. Tell you what, your significant other is going to be so impressed. And I like to put it on a bed of arugula or any field greens, whatever you prefer. And I like to drizzle that with a little bit of balsamic vinaigrette. Just like that. I don't know, can you get a shot of that? Can you guys see that? Isn't that pretty? So there's your little salad. Okay, so let's get started now on our shrimp dish and get some oil in this pan. It's a nice hot pan, about 2 tablespoons or so. I'm going to get some garlic in there. And I have here about 4 cloves of garlic, more or less. And just give that a chop. And this dish is also cooks up. I like it because it cooks up very, very quickly. You know, shrimp, don't cook shrimp for more than, what, 4 minutes, 2 minutes on each side maybe? It's that fast. Now with the garlic, I'm just going to saute it in a little olive oil. You don't want to brown it. You just want to get it tender. Now I'm making it very small here, so it shouldn't take too long. So you have to watch it. All right, I think that's good. And to this, we're going to add all those tomatoes. Well, all those tomatoes. It's about a 15-ounce can of diced tomatoes with a little bit of what was left, you know, what we took out of the other tomato, the whole tomato. Okay, let's turn that up a little bit. Let's let that get soft. And then we're going to add our tomatoes to that. Let's grab our shrimp in the meantime. I have about a pound of shrimp. It's already peeled and deveined. I love to buy it that way because it saves me a lot of time. And I buy it frozen, and then it takes like 5 minutes to thaw out under cold water. I did take the tails off, so as you can see. That way when you cook them and eat them, you don't have to sit there and worry about getting the tails off your plate. Let's add our tomatoes. Smell that garlic. Yum. Put that over there. Now I think to this we're going to add some fresh herbs as well. I'd like to add, of course, a little more parsley. Whatever I have left here, yep. And some, I'm sorry, did I say parsley? I meant basil and some parsley. I like this dish because even if you've been working all day long, it takes 10 minutes to make this dish. Really, it takes no time at all. It's great. Okay. Wow, that's a lot of herbs, but hey. Add a little salt and pepper to this. I like to use the red cayenne pepper. Gives it a little kick. What do I have here? I've got strings. Wonderful. Okay. And oregano. Probably about, maybe I'd say about a teaspoon of oregano. We're just going to let this cook down for about 5 minutes. I'm going to take a quick break, and I'll meet you right back here. You don't want to miss any of this because we're just finishing everything up. Today's show is sponsored in part by Lucia's Kitchen. I make my own tomato sauce, mild and a little spicy, which can be found at the Italian store in Arlington. Welcome back. So we've cooked our tomatoes down just a bit here, as you can see. Now it's time to add our sweet vermouth. And I've got about a half a cup of sweet vermouth. And we're going to just let that alcohol evaporate just a tad. And then what we're going to do is see how I'm kind of creating a little well here in the middle. We're going to add our shrimp. And like I said, this doesn't take long at all. This is going to be like 2 minutes on each side. And what I've already done is put our pasta in the pan, so that should be almost ready. Just like that. We want to add a little more salt to those shrimp. You're going to see it's all going to come up very, very quickly. Let's see if this pasta is done. Angel hair cooks very quickly, about 4 or 5 minutes tops. Keep in mind, pasta always continues to cook even after you take it out of the pan. So it's done. I'm going to add our cream. Okay, that looks really good and smells amazing. So we're going to pour this right in here. There you go. There's your angel hair and shrimp. I'm going to take a quick break, get the cake out of the oven, get it out of the pan. When we come back, we're going to try everything and see how it is. Don't miss it. Welcome back. I've taken the cake out of the oven and taken it out of the pan. What I've done is I've put some powdered sugar on top and garnished it with a little strawberry. And of course we have our ganache sauce here, and which is really basically 8 ounces of bittersweet chocolate, a little heavy cream, and a tiny bit of butter. And we're going to drizzle a little bit of the ganache on top. Wow. Okay, guys. I'm going in for the count here. Wow. I can't even speak after this. This is great. I'm all out of time for today. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful romantic dinner. I'll see you next time on Tavola. You can see these dishes are all very, very simple, and you can get all the recipes on the email address. We'll see you soon. Ciao.